Couple seconds.
And could I just see this? I'm going to try and share my screen and.
Hello, everyone.
Everybody's just jumping in.
Okay.
Coming.
Welcome, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Bonjour à tous et à toutes. My name is Emily. I'm from the Career Advising and Transition Services Office at the McGill School of Continuing Studies. I'm delighted to be here today with my colleagues from the CATS office. Vita, you want to say hello?
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
And Diana.
Welcome, everyone.
This is already the third edition of PowerSkills, day 2 of an amazing list of great sessions planned for this year. This year's theme is Life Transformed, Our Post-Pandemic Era. So I'd really like to recognize that we at CATS acknowledge that our work in Montreal takes place on the unceded Indigenous land, part of the Mohawk Nation. We'd like to play a short video for you now. Thank you so much. So this land is known as this land is known as a gathering place for many First Nations, and at PowerSkills, we're committed to use this space, this summit, as a place of gathering, connection, reconnection, and as a way to empower all voices and perspectives attending this summit. Thank you for joining us. I'd like to introduce you to today's speaker. When thinking about who can be, the right person to talk about the real evidence-based strategies for having more positive self-awareness, cultivating kindness towards ourselves and those around us, and so many more. And so many more aspects of the importance of taking care of your health and mental health. I could not think of anyone else but Naz. Bilun Naz Boke is a PhD candidate in the Department of Educational and Counselling Psychology at McGill. She's a member of the Development and Intrapersonal Resilience research team, which focuses on research and outreach focusing on mental health and resilience in educational settings. Thank you so much for joining us today, Naz.
Thank you so much, Emily, for your kind invitation and for all of you that are here today. So it's okay to get started?
Go for it, yes.
Perfect, so I'll share my screen right here. How does that look for everyone? Okay, perfect. Throughout, feel free to unmute yourself to ask me a question at any point, and I'll get started. I can't see the chat all the time, so if you're asking questions there, I think Emily or Diana might be able to get back or alert me at least. So hi, everyone. My name is Naz, and as Emily said, I'm a PhD candidate in the Department of Educational and Counselling Psychology. So for the past 5 years, I've been involved in research and outreach to support mental health, well-being, and healthy coping in educational settings. I'm very happy and excited to be here. Thank you, everyone, again, for being bright and early here this morning. Today, I'm going to walk through some exercises and strategies that have been shown to help us face life's challenges with resilience. Hopefully this workshop serves as a pleasant way to start off today's PowerSkills event. So I will begin with a quick overview of what we'll be doing over the next half hour. I'll be sharing different evidence-based strategies, which are from the field of positive psychology, which is an area of psychology that highlights the importance of mental strength and resilience over psychopathology, which is sort of the domain of clinical psychs. So first, we're going to talk about taking intentional breaks or calming the mind when it might be running wild. We'll also discuss the importance of leaning on and enhancing our awareness of the positive, as well as how we can cultivate kindness for both ourselves and others. So for each of these, I will provide a brief introduction on what that domain means, and then we'll practice a strategy within each of these three domains. And at the end of the presentation, I'll also provide an interactive infographic as a resource. This is a resource that was developed by our team. It covers a lot of the material and the content that I'll walk through today and more. So if you're looking for different examples of strategies in each of the domains, you can find them there. And this infographic was actually shared with the McGill community widely through the Dean of Students last semester. So that's how and why it was created. Okay, so what do we mean by taking a break or a pause? Taking a break or pausing refers to the intentional practice of any non-work related activity that purposefully distracts you and holds your attention. The possibilities of what this activity can be for you are pretty vast. It should be something that you enjoy and have fun participating in. Some quick examples that I'll give you are listening to music, going for a run or jog or a walk, watching something you like on TV, or doing some stretches or yoga. The key to experiencing the benefit of these pauses is to make sure that we engage in these intentionally and not as a way to avoid or procrastinate on other responsibilities. So there is a lot of intention behind, you needing a pause and you pursuing an activity to give that to yourself. So you also need to consider, sometimes it becomes overwhelming to think that you also have to schedule these in, but you don't need to, schedule a whole hour of running or this big chunk of time to actually get the benefits from these breaks or pauses. They can actually be very short, like a quick stretch in between Zoom meetings, or listening to your favorite tunes when you're done work, for example. Of course, longer breaks might be more enjoyable, and they're great when they're possible, but the general rule for building resilience overall is that something is better than nothing at all. So even if you can squeeze in something for 30 seconds, and I'll give you an example of that in a little bit, a few minutes or longer as you have time, it's worthwhile for the benefits. Another effective way and an evidence-based way to take purposeful breaks throughout the day is through the use of mindfulness techniques. So mindfulness can be a very effective way to fit in breaks or pauses throughout your day as you need. And we're actually going to practice a strategy in a second. So before we go into that, I want to provide you with a definition of mindfulness that we use within our research, and it's widely accepted in the field of mindfulness research as well. So what mindfulness is it's paying attention to what we sense or experience in the present moment, on purpose, so with intentionality, and with non-judgmental acceptance, which means that we do not criticize what we are sensing or experiencing. We do not judge it, we merely observe it with acceptance. And that can make a critical distinction for the benefit you experience through this strategy. So now we get to practice our first strategy together. This short activity is a mindfulness-based practice. It's a quick one, so it's called, it's part of informal mindfulness, which is easy to integrate into your everyday routine. So it's a mindfulness exercise that asks us to focus our attention on our senses for a short amount of time. So we're actually going to try this now for 30 seconds, and we're going to be focusing on our sense of hearing. And I will guide you through the activity. I'm just going to take a sip of water. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to either gently close your eyes or stare down in front of you if that's more comfortable. And just take a second to hear the sounds that are around you. Listen to these sounds. See if there's something you're hearing from within the room that you're in. See if there's something you hear outside of the room that you're in. You can also focus your attention on the sound of my voice. All I ask is that you listen. That's all. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back gently. So, oops. So that was an example of a mindfulness practice. You can use different senses to just focus your attention on what you might be hearing or seeing or tasting or smelling, and you can do that for any 30 seconds that you have in the day, and it helps divert attention from things that might be creating stress in your mind. Does anyone have any questions or comments so far? Okay, so I'm going to go into another strategy. So this one is called the calming breath. This is a foundational resilience building strategy or breathing exercise that actually helps trigger the body's or helps turn off the body's stress response. So it can be very, very helpful in to calm down when things are getting a little bit more intense. But it's also very beneficial to get into the habit of learning the technique for this breathing exercise. There are, of course, others that you can learn as well, just to have in our toolkit of strategies. So the critical parts of this strategy is that we want to inhale from the nose for about 4 seconds. We're going to hold that breath and pause for about 2 seconds, and then slowly exhale through the mouth for 6 seconds. So we're going to exhale a little bit longer than we inhale, and we're going to hold that for 2 seconds as well. And these are the 4 steps of the cycle of the calming breath. So we're going to go through 3 cycles of this in the next slide. There will also be a visual for you to follow along too. So you'll be able to time it with that. Go on here. Okay, if everyone's ready, you can follow along with the visual on the right of your screen, and we can debrief afterwards. So that was 3 calming breaths. This is a strategy that I personally use all the time, multiple times throughout the day. I find it's very, very helpful to just take a little bit of time to focus on my breath and then move through my emotions that way. And so now we're going to go into the enhancing positive awareness domain of coping strategies. So no matter how horrible some days can get, there are always little good things that happen every day that go unnoticed unless we consciously remember and acknowledge them. Our brains are wired to readily notice and react to negative information. That's an evolutionary mechanism that protects us and keeps us out of harm's way. But the side effects of that is it means we need to put in a little extra effort to pick out the positive information because the negative stuff holds more psychological weight. But it is in our hands to tip the scale and by intentionally enhancing our awareness of positive information. And so it's then that's how we make sure the positive information or the positive things that happen in our daily lives, small or big, don't go unnoticed. And this type of practice is something that can especially be helpful in times like this when we are bombarded with worry-inducing news and negative information almost constantly. So it is important that we give ourselves the time and space to notice the positive as well. So that's us tipping the scale. The strategy that can help us become more aware of the positive information is one example of a strategy is the 3 good things exercise. So this is a strategy that can provide the most benefit when done somewhat regularly. And what we would ask you to do for this is to keep a notepad either on your bedside or table or desk, and note down 3 good things, no matter how big or small, that happened to you each day. To remember how these made you feel, to savor that warm and fuzzy feeling, to relive it, if you will. So the good things can be simple, like the first sip of coffee in the morning, cuddling with a pet, or hearing some kind words from a friend or loved one. I want to leave us time for our meditation practice. I don't want to go over time, but if you want to take a few seconds now to think about maybe some good things that might have happened and that you enjoyed either this morning or throughout yesterday or yesterday evening. And if anybody wants to share, that would be great as well. Would anyone like to share an example of a good thing?
We have in the chat morning meditation. Oh, actually, we have a few comments. Morning meditation, dinner out with my kids, morning yoga. Oh, my 13-year-old daughter did the dishes for me this morning.
That's amazing. Those are perfect examples, exactly. So these are the kind of things that that definitely go unnoticed, or at least we don't really have an associated specific positive memory with them, or the negative things that happened that day might undermine these little positive moments. So it is really important and helpful to make sure that we pay attention to them. So this is an exercise, if you if you want to do it a few days a week, I feel 3 to 4 is a good frequency for this activity, and over time it actually helps you become more aware of the positive. Okay, so the final domain that we will discuss today is cultivating kindness towards ourselves and others. So why kindness? Research is increasingly documenting the power of kindness and compassion as a coping and well-being resource, and we can all be very self-critical at times. So what the research is telling us now is that the ability to be kind to ourselves, or self-compassion, is actually linked to better functioning under stress through persistence. So self-compassion is giving yourself the same kindness and consideration that you would show a friend. And this might be a little counterintuitive with some of the messages we might have gotten in our work context or school context, which is, you need to push yourself to achieve. You need to put some kind of pressure on yourself to push through difficulties. Well, research is actually documenting the opposite of that, where the kinder, the more compassionate we are towards ourselves, it actually helps us stay more resilient and persist through difficulty. Which, when you think about it, makes a little bit more sense, even if it's counterintuitive at first. So acts of kindness towards others, little pro-social behaviors, have been shown to enhance both mood and increase overall well-being. So it is a way to taking part in little acts of kindness towards others can actually, over time, enhance the kindness and compassion you show for yourself. The next exercise that we're going to do, or the strategy, is another strategy to cultivate self-compassion. So it is going to be a little meditation, and it's great for those who already did a morning meditation today. This is going to be a second one. That's 2 before 9 a.m. That's amazing. So we're going to practice a loving kindness meditation together. This is an exercise that leverages the love and compassion we feel for others in our lives, our loved ones, to send them, oops, wait, not now. So the exercise helps us leverage our compassion for others by sending them wishes for well-being, and then turning that kindness and compassion on ourselves. So it might feel a little awkward for those who are unfamiliar with the practice. I encourage you to listen to the instructions and simply follow along, and we can discuss how it went for you afterwards. And I'm just going to make sure that my computer audio is being shared. Can you hear that? No.
What? The pictures of the slides sometimes.
Why you look like you're trying to be sneaky about it?
No, because I was waiting to see
Self-compassion
the video.
Can you hear that now?
For the video to start.
Your eyes.
Now we
Gaze
can,
directly
yes.
down to the floor in front of you.
I was taking a video.
Sit comfortably with your feet flat on the floor and your spine straight. Relax your whole body. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Picture someone that you know, someone that you are acquainted with, that you like but are not necessarily very close to. Perhaps a classmate, a colleague, or any acquaintance. Think of this person. Hold them in your mind's eye, and send them your wishes for well-being, happiness, and peace. Savor this moment and notice how it feels for you. Notice that it is natural to send others well wishes and hope for their well-being. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Now picture someone that you love, perhaps a relative, a friend, or a pet. Send all your wishes for well-being, happiness, and peace to that loved one. Savor this moment and notice the warm feeling of sharing your love and well wishes. Notice how this feels for you. Notice that it feels natural to send feelings of love, warmth, and compassion to those you love. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Now bring it back and turn the loving kindness and well wishes onto yourself by imagining that someone is sending you their love, kindness, and wishes for wellness, happiness, and peace. Savor this moment and accept the well wishes, love, and kindness. Feel it. Notice that you too are deserving of love, kindness, and compassion. Notice the ease with which you share wishes for well-being, happiness, and peace with others. And be sure to extend this kindness, love, and compassion to yourself. Extend and accept this kindness and self-compassion. Savor this moment and notice how it feels for you. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And another deep breath in and out. Notice the state of your mind and how you feel after this meditation. When you're ready, you may open your eyes.
Once you come back after that meditation, does anybody want to share how that was? Or by a show of thumbs up, was that the first time for anybody doing a loving kindness meditation? Couple. Well, that's great to be able to share this strategy with you. If anybody wants to leave a note in the chat about how it was or what they thought of it, feel free to do so, or even unmute yourself to discuss. That is the end of my presentation for today. So I just wanted to let you know that we have this interactive resource. It is a PDF with clickable links that's sort of modeled off of this presentation. So it shares some additional strategies within each of the domains that I talked about today. It also has links to other resources, apps, websites, and books and shows that you can take a look at if you're interested. And there's contact information for our team on there as well. So if anybody wants to reach out, feel free to do so. I'm happy to take questions and comments right now. Thank you all so much for listening and being here. The QR code, if you want to scan it with your phone, it takes you to a short survey that asks you a few questions, so we can get feedback on how this presentation was for you and things we could do to improve it in our subsequent outreach. So thank you all so much.
I want to thank you so much, Naz. This was such in just, half an hour, I feel that going through these steps have been so calming, and these are definitely practices that we definitely want to use that seem to be, you break it down for us, makes it easy for us to use on a daily basis. I just want to share that in the chat, we have some great comments here. It was peaceful and alleviating. It feels great to be. It feels great and peaceful, restorative, calming. And then we have a comment, I've done meditation before, but not exactly like that. The twist of turning the sentiments onto me was different. So these are just some comments being shared in the chat for the meditation. That's amazing. Yes, I think for the meditation, it is a very interesting one that with the instructions, how it turns sentiment onto yourself, especially because you notice the difference in how easy it is to do for others, and becomes a little bit more difficult when you do it, when you turn it on yourself. But that can be changed and cultivated with practice. I'd love to know on that note, what is recommended in terms of the amount of time to meditate on maybe a daily basis? I know that so many of us are busy with, so much going on, but we need to take time for this.
Yeah, I don't think there's, it's really on a contextual and personal basis, how often you would like to involve meditation and involve these moments in your day or week. There are much longer meditations. There are meditations for sleep. There are much shorter meditations. There's there's informal practice, which is like the coming to your senses activity, which can take as short as 10 seconds, all the way up to meditations that take an hour or more. So it's really searching through what's out there, seeing what you like, what you feel is the most beneficial or aligned with what you need, and going with that. Definitely, setting realistic goals for ourselves. If you're not a meditator, maybe it's not realistic to say I'm going to meditate for an hour every day from now on. Just sort of easing yourself into the new habit and building it over time, trying different things.
Thank you so much. We have a nice comment here from Gail. Thank you for this workshop. Great way to start the day and excellent tips to make into daily habits. Thank you.
I'm very glad. Thank you all for being here. I do hope it's something that that you feel was relevant for you and meaningful. The more we integrate these into our daily lives, the more resilience we have when we're faced with more difficulty, because that comes along that we can't change or control.
Absolutely. Yeah. At a time where I feel anxiety feels to be at an all-time high, having these cultivating these daily rituals seem to be so important. Thank you so much. Thank you, Naz. We really appreciate this, and we'll be sharing the amazing resources that you've built, and we'll be completing this survey now. And the resources can be shared, so we'll share that with participants. Thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. Thanks again for the invite. It was great to be here and speak this morning. I'll stop sharing my screen. And
thank you. I don't know if the CATS team, if Diana or Zita wanted to, mention a few words. Closing up, good. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining us this morning, and check out today's amazing list of sessions at PowerSkills. Here we go. I will just put this into the chat right now. Thank you very much, Naz. We really appreciate you and these amazing practices that you share with us.